The moment Victor Kane looked up from his desk and actually saw me, 3 people were already going to die. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Right now, I'm staring at surveillance footage on my hidden laptop. The timestamp glows in the corner. March 15th, 2015, 11:47 p.m. Victor Kane's enforcer, a man named Marcus Torelli, sits across from Detective Brian Walsh at a greasy diner on the south side. The angle is perfect. I can see Walsh sliding an envelope across the table. Can see Marcus nodding. This is the night my father died. My hands shake as I save the file to my encrypted drive. 10 years of hunting, and I finally have proof. I close the laptop and check the time. 6:15 in the morning. The Kane Global Holdings building won't start filling up for another hour, but I've been coming in at 6:30 for 3 years now. Early enough to establish a pattern. Early enough that security barely glances at my badge anymore. I slip the laptop into my oversized messenger bag, the one that makes me look like I'm drowning in canvas and good intentions, and head for the door of my studio apartment. Before I leave, I press my fingers against the loose baseboard near the bathroom. Behind it sits my evidence journal. 10 years of financial irregularities, shell company networks, witness statements I've carefully cultivated, photos of illegal meetings, the crown jewel, the encryption key that could prove my father was murdered. Could, not will. Because the file I need still sits on Victor Kane's personal server, locked behind biometric security I haven't been able to crack. I take the subway to Midtown. The train car smells like coffee and sweat and the particular exhaustion of people heading to jobs they hate. I blend in perfectly. Brown hair pulled back in a boring ponytail. Oversized blazer that hides my shape. Non-prescription glasses that make my eyes look slightly larger, slightly more forgettable. I've perfected the art of being overlooked. It's exactly as planned. The Kane Global Holdings building rises 60 stories above Manhattan, all glass and steel and the kind of money that doesn't ask permission. I swipe my badge at the security desk. The guard, Mike, 50s, 2 daughters in college, barely looks up from his newspaper. "Morning, Elena," he says. "It's Alara," I correct automatically, knowing he won't remember. People never do. I take the elevator to the 43rd floor. Financial analysis. My desk sits in a corner between a filing cabinet and a printer that jams every 3rd Thursday. I've worked here for 3 years as a financial analyst, arriving at 6:30, leaving at 8 p.m., and nobody has ever asked me about my life beyond whether I've finished the quarterly reports. Perfect. I boot up my computer and pull up spreadsheets that would make most people's eyes glaze over. Shell companies nested inside holding corporations nested inside offshore accounts. To anyone else, it looks like standard corporate structure. To me, it's a map. A trail leading straight to money laundering, tax evasion, and a dozen other crimes the Kanes have spent decades hiding. My father found this same trail 10 years ago. Thomas Moretti, honest accountant, good father. He worked for a firm that audited Kane businesses, found discrepancies, told me he was meeting someone who could help him do the right thing. That was a Tuesday. He never wore black shoes on Tuesdays, superstitious about it since I was born, said black shoes on Tuesdays brought bad luck. The next day, security footage showed him jumping from his office building wearing black shoes. Someone dressed his body after they killed him. My mother died 6 months later. Heart failure, the doctor said, but I knew better. She died of grief, of a broken heart that couldn't survive losing the man she loved. I was 16. I've been preparing for revenge since I turned 18. The office starts filling up around 8. Jennifer from accounting waves as she passes. Mark from legal nods without really seeing me. I'm part of the furniture here, a ghost in expensive business casual. At 9:30, my desk phone rings. "Miss Moretti, Mr. Kane needs the quarterly reports delivered to his office, conference room 3. My pulse kicks up, but my voice stays steady. I'll bring them right up. Victor Kane's office occupies the entire 60th floor. I've only been up here a handful of times in 3 years, always to deliver reports, always trying not to draw attention to the fact that my heart tries to hammer out of my chest every time. Because Victor Kane is the man I came here to destroy. The elevator ride feels longer than it should. When the doors open, I step into a reception area that probably costs more than my entire apartment building. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook the city. Abstract art that I'm sure is worth millions. Everything designed to remind you that power lives here. James sits at the reception desk, Victor's right-hand man. Late 40s, sharp suit, sharper eyes. He barely glances at me as he gestures toward the conference room. I walk in carrying my tablet with the quarterly reports. The room is empty, except for one man standing at the window, silhouetted against the morning light. Victor Kane. 36 years old. Dark hair that probably costs more to maintain than my monthly rent. Suit that fits like it was grown on his body. And eyes. Ice blue eyes that could freeze you solid if they actually looked at you. He doesn't turn around when I enter. "Leave the reports on the table," he says. His voice is smooth, controlled, the kind of voice that's used to being obeyed. I set the tablet down. My security badge slips from my pocket, the one that tracks after-hours access to restricted areas. It clatters on the conference table. My heart stops. Victor turns. This is the moment. This is where 3 years of careful invisibility could unravel. Where he could look at the access logs and realize I've been places I shouldn't be. Where it all ends. He crosses to the table, picks up my badge, studies the photo, studies my name. His eyes meet mine for what feels like the first time ever, even though I've been in his building for 3 years. Really looks at me. Something flickers in those ice blue depths. Curiosity, maybe, or suspicion. Don't make a habit of forgetting things, Miss Moretti. He hands the badge back without looking away. His fingers brush mine for half a second. They're warm. I don't know why that surprises me. "I won't," I manage. "The quarterly reports show some interesting patterns in our subsidiary accounts." He hasn't looked away. "You have a good eye for detail." "Thank you." "How long have you worked here?" 3 years. "And I'm just now noticing you." It doesn't sound like a question, but there's something underneath it. Some edge I can't identify. "That's either very good at your job or very deliberate." My mouth goes dry. "I just try to do good work, Mr. Kane." He studies me for another beat, then nods. "You can go." I leave without running, even though every instinct screams at me to bolt. I make it back to my desk. Sit down. Try to focus on spreadsheets while my hands shake. That afternoon, I'm in the records room on the 37th floor. It's after hours. Most people have gone home, but I've stayed late enough times that nobody questions it anymore. I'm photographing documents related to a shell company in the Caymans when I hear voices in the hallway. I freeze. The Moretti girl. Too quiet. That's James. Nobody's that invisible unless they're hiding something. "How long have you been watching her?" Victor's voice, closer than it should be. My heart hammers. I ease behind a filing cabinet, praying they don't come in. 6 months. Nothing concrete, but my gut says she's looking for something. Keep watching. If she finds what she's looking for, I want to know before she uses it. Their footsteps fade down the hallway. I stay frozen behind the filing cabinet for 10 minutes after they leave. 6 months. They've been watching me for 6 months, and I never noticed. How many other things have I missed? That night, I can't sleep. I lie in my narrow bed and think about my father. I was 14 the first time he explained his job to me. We were having dinner, Mom's pot roast, my favorite. He told me accounting was like being a detective, following money trails, finding truth in numbers. The numbers never lie, sweetheart, he said. People lie, companies lie, but numbers tell you exactly what happened if you know how to read them. 2 years later, he told me he'd found something wrong at work, something big. He was scared. I could see it in his eyes even though he tried to hide it, but he was also determined. Sometimes you have to do the right thing even when it's hard, he said. Even when it's dangerous. That's what it means to have integrity. The next night, he said he was meeting someone who could help him, someone who wanted to do the right thing too. I never saw him alive again. The police called it suicide. Open and shut case. Man under stress at work, struggling with depression. Jumped from his office building. Tragic, but not suspicious. Except for the shoes. I told the police about the shoes, about how he never wore black shoes on Tuesdays, about how those weren't even his shoes, half a size too big. They looked at me with pity. Grief makes people see things that aren't there, they said, makes them desperate for answers that don't exist. But I knew. Someone killed my father. Someone made it look like suicide. And someone got away with it. It took me 2 years to connect it to the Canes. 2 years of digging through my father's old files, his notes, his calendar. He'd been auditing Kane subsidiaries. He'd found discrepancies. He'd scheduled a meeting the night he died. The Canes killed him. I knew it in my bones. So I spent 4 years preparing, learning everything I could about corporate finance, about the Kane organization, about Victor Kane, who took over after his older brother Nico was assassinated 5 years ago. I learned that Victor had one ironclad rule: never get involved with anyone inside the organization. His brother died because of pillow talk with an assistant who betrayed him. Victor watched it happen, made a promise that he'd never make the same mistake, which meant Victor Kane was untouchable, unknowable, a man who'd built walls so high that nobody got close, perfect for a ghost like me to haunt. I got hired at Kane Global Holdings 3 years ago, started building my case file, learning the patterns, finding the evidence, getting closer and closer to the encrypted file that would prove everything. The file that sits on Victor Kane's personal server. The file I'm 90% certain contains orders for my father's death. Getting access requires biometric recognition, Victor's fingerprint and retinal scan, which means I need to get close to him, impossibly close, which I've spent 3 years avoiding. But after today, after he actually looked at me, actually noticed me, something's changed. The ghost has been seen. And I'm not sure if that's my opening or my ending. I stare at my ceiling until dawn breaks through my window. Then I get up, get dressed, and head back to Kane Global Holdings. Because revenge doesn't take days off. Neither does obsession. What I don't know, while I'm riding the subway, Victor is standing in his office looking at my access logs, looking at everywhere I've been, everything I've touched, every file I've opened, looking for the pattern I've been so careful to hide, and finding it. Then Dominic Reeves walked into the building, and suddenly being invisible became impossible. Dominic's first words to me weren't a greeting. They were a test I didn't realize I was taking. You take your coffee with oat milk and 2 sugars, right? I look up from my desk to find a man I've never seen before holding 2 cups of coffee. He's late 20s, maybe early 30s, warm brown eyes, easy smile. The kind of face that makes you want to trust him immediately, which is exactly why I don't. I'm sorry, I say, playing confused. Do we know each other? Not yet. Dominic Reeves. Just started in compliance consulting. He sets one cup on my desk. I've been doing rounds, introducing myself. Jennifer in accounting mentioned you're always here early, and you're particular about your coffee. I glance at the cup. Sure enough, it has my name written on it, spelled correctly. Not Elena or L or any of the dozen variations people usually default to. Alara, the cup reads in neat handwriting. Thank you, I say carefully, but you didn't have to do that. I know, wanted to. He leans against my desk, casual but not invasive. Compliance consulting. Basically, I'm here to help legitimize operations, make sure everything's above board. Boring stuff mostly, but it means I'll be around for a while, so figured I should get to know people. That's nice of you. What do you do? Financial analysis? Ah, numbers person. I like numbers people. They're usually the smartest ones in the room. His smile widens. Also the most underestimated. Something about the way he says it makes me look at him more carefully, like he's not just making small talk, like he's trying to tell me something without saying it directly. Well, thanks for the coffee, I say, turning back to my computer. Universal signal for conversation over. He doesn't take the hint. Or maybe he does and ignores it. What got you into financial analysis? Long story. I've got time. I don't. I keep my eyes on my screen. Sorry, I have reports due. Right, of course. He straightens up. Maybe lunch sometime? I'm still learning my way around the neighborhood. Maybe. He leaves, but I can feel him smiling as he walks away. Within 2 days, coffee appears on my desk every morning with my name spelled correctly. Within a week, he's asking about my life in the break room, in the elevator, in passing hallways. Casual questions. What do I do for fun? Do I have family in the city? What made me want to work at Kane Global? I deflect every question, give vague, forgettable answers, but he keeps showing up. And the terrible thing, the dangerous thing, is that it feels good. For the first time since my father died, someone sees me as a person, not a ghost. Someone remembers my name, my coffee order, the fact that I exist. I told myself it's dangerous. I told myself to stay focused. But God, it feels good to be seen. You seem different lately, Jennifer from accounting says one afternoon. We're in the break room, and I'm actually sitting at a table instead of taking my lunch back to my desk like usual. Different how? I don't know. Lighter, maybe? She smiles. That Dominic seems nice. He talks about you sometimes. My heart does something complicated. He does? Yeah. Asks if you're always so serious. If you ever smile. Jennifer adds creamer to her coffee. I told him you're just focused, driven. He said that's what he likes about you. I should shut this down. Should make it clear that I'm not interested, that I'm not here to make friends or start relationships, that I have a mission. But I don't say any of that. Instead, I find myself asking, what else did he say? 3 weeks after Dominic arrives, I'm working late. Most of the office is empty. I'm deep in spreadsheets when I hear footsteps approaching my desk. You know, normal people go home when the sun goes down. I look up. Dominic is leaning against the filing cabinet, jacket slung over his shoulder, tie loosened. He looks tired, but somehow still warm, still genuine. I could say the same to you. Fair point. He walks closer. Want to grab dinner? There's a Thai place 2 blocks over. Best pad CEW in the city. I really need to finish this. The work will still be here tomorrow. He tilts his head, studying me. When's the last time you did something just because you wanted to, not because it was part of a plan or a goal or whatever you're working toward? The question hits harder than it should. I don't know, I admit. Then let me buy you dinner. No agenda, just food and conversation. I should say no. Should stay focused. But my father's voice echoes in my head. Sometimes you have to do the right thing even when it's hard. What if the right thing includes letting myself be human for one night? Okay, I hear myself say. Dinner. The Thai restaurant is small and cramped and smells like heaven. We sit in a corner booth, and Dominic orders for both of us. Somehow guesses that I like things spicy, that I prefer noodles to rice. So, he says once the food arrives, tell me something real about you. Real? Yeah. Not the elevator pitch version, not the resume version, something true. I twirl noodles around my fork, thinking, what can I tell him that's true, but not too true? That's honest, but not dangerous. I lost my father when I was 16, I finally say. He was my favorite person in the world. I've spent the last 10 years trying to figure out who I am without him. Dominic's expression softens. I'm sorry. That's awful. What about you? Something real? I grew up in foster care, 7 different homes before I aged out of the system. He says it matter-of-factly, but I can hear the weight underneath. Spend a long time feeling invisible, like I didn't matter to anyone. So now, when I see someone else trying to disappear, I recognize it. Our eyes meet across the table. You seem like you're running from something, he continues quietly. Or towards something. Which is it? My heart pounds. He's too perceptive, too smart. Maybe both, I deflect. He reaches across the table, touches my hand. His fingers are warm. Real. Whatever it is, you don't have to do it alone. We're standing by my car in the parking garage when it almost happens. He walks me there even though it's out of his way. We're talking about nothing important. Favorite movies, worst jobs we've ever had, and I'm laughing. Actually laughing. He stops walking, turns to face me. I like you, Alara. My breath catches. Dominic. I know, bad timing, wrong place, but I had to say it. He steps closer, close enough that I can smell his cologne, something clean and simple. You don't have to say anything back. I just wanted you to know. He's going to kiss me. I can see it in his eyes. Part of me wants him to. Wants this moment of feeling human and seen and connected to someone. But another part, the part that's spent 10 years planning, knows I can't. Not yet. Not until I finish what I came here to do. Not yet, I whisper, pulling back slightly. I have things I need to finish first. Then I'll wait. He smiles, but there's something sad in it. However long it takes. The next morning, I'm wearing a softer blouse, blue instead of my usual gray or black. Dominic said blue suits me. My hair is down instead of pulled back. Small changes, barely noticeable, except Victor Kane notices. We're in a staff meeting. Victor is presenting quarterly projections. I'm taking notes like always. Dominic whispers something funny about the pie chart, and I laugh quietly. When I look up, Victor is staring at me. Really staring. His ice blue eyes are locked on my face with an intensity that makes my breath catch. His jaw is tight. His knuckles are white where they grip the pen. James notices, leans over and murmurs something. Problem, boss? Victor's eyes don't leave me. No problem. But it's a lie. I can see it in the way he's looking at me. Like he's actually seeing me for the first time. Like something has shifted. After the meeting, as people file out, Victor's voice cuts through the noise. Miss Moretti, my office. Now. My heart drops into my stomach. Dominic pauses by the door, concerned. Everything okay? Fine, I say, even though nothing is fine. Victor's office feels different this time. Colder, more dangerous. He doesn't sit behind his desk. Instead, he stands by the window, silhouette against the city skyline. How long have you known Dominic Reeves? The question catches me off guard. A few weeks. He's new in compliance. Do you trust him? I barely know him. Victor turns. Those ice blue eyes pin me in place. Then why does he know your coffee order? Why does he wait for you in the lobby every evening? Why were you having dinner with him last Tuesday? The chill runs down my spine. He's been watching us, watching me. I don't think that's any of your business, Mr. Kane. Everything that happens in my building is my business. He moves closer, too close for a boss talking to an employee. Reeves is dangerous. You don't know him. And I know you? The words are out before I can stop them. Bold, reckless. Something flashes in his eyes. Anger, maybe. Or something else. Something I can't name. The air between us crackles with tension I don't understand. His hand rises like he's going to touch my face. I can see the war happening in his expression. Want versus control. His hand drops. No, he says quietly. You don't know me either, but Reeves knows less than you think. Then he walks to his desk, effectively dismissing me. I leave shaking. That night, I get home to find my apartment door slightly ajar. My blood turns to ice. I push it open carefully. The place has been ransacked. Not robbed, searched. Professional, methodical. Every drawer opened, every book pulled from shelves, my mattress flipped. My evidence journal is gone. 10 years of work, vanished. I sink to my knees in the wreckage of my tiny apartment. Everything I've worked for, everything I've gathered, gone. Then I see it. A single page left behind on my Kit Moretti counter. A photocopy of my father's death certificate, and written across it in red ink. He didn't jump, but you knew that. VK. Victor Kane knows everything. Victor told himself it was about security. I know because I heard him say it to James, but that didn't explain why he personally searched my apartment while I was at dinner with Dominic. I barely sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I see that red ink. He didn't jump, but you knew that. VK. Victor knows my father was murdered. Either he's admitting his family did it, or he's telling me he knows I've been investigating. Maybe both. Either way, I'm exposed. Possibly dead. But I still go to work because running confirms guilt. The morning feels surreal. I shower in my ransacked bathroom. Get dressed around overturned furniture. Take the subway while clutching my messenger bag, now empty of the laptop that held my backup files. Also gone. When I walk into Kane Global Holdings, Mike the security guard actually looks up from his paper. Morning, Alara, he says. Gets my name right for the first time in 3 years. Even he sees me now. I make it to my desk, boot up my computer with shaking hands, try to focus on spreadsheets when all I can think about is that note, that signature. At 9:15, James appears. Mr. Kane wants to see you. Now. The walk to the elevator feels like death row. James doesn't make small talk, doesn't look at me, just escorts me up 60 floors in silence. Victor's office door is already open. Inside, my journal sits on his mahogany desk, next to a gun. My heart stops. Come in, Victor says from somewhere behind me. Close the door. I do, even though every instinct screams to run. The door clicks shut with a finality that makes my skin crawl. Victor stands by the window, back to me. Same position as yesterday, but different, tense. Did you read it? My voice comes out steadier than I feel. Every word. He doesn't turn around. Sit down, Alara. First time he's used my first name. It sounds different in his voice, intimate, dangerous. I'd rather stand. I wasn't asking. I sit. He finally turns. Those ice blue eyes aren't cold anymore. They're burning. Why didn't you just kill me? He asks. It's not what I expected. Not a threat. A genuine question. Because killing you wouldn't be justice, I say. I wanted to destroy the Empire legally, make your family face consequences, make people remember what you did. What we did, he corrects. Walks to the desk, picks up the journal. Your father, Thomas Moretti. You were 16 when he died. You know all that already. I know what's in here. He holds up the journal. 10 years of investigation, financial records, witness statements, photos of illegal transactions. His eyes meet mine. Impressive work. Thorough. Almost good enough to take down the entire organization. Almost? You're missing the encrypted file. The one on my personal server. He sets the journal down, pushes it toward me. The one that would prove everything. My hands shake as I take it. Why are you giving this back? Because you were never invisible to me, Alara. From the first day I saw you. That's why I stayed away. That's why I had to. The confession hits like a punch. What? He moves closer. Close enough that I can see exhaustion in his eyes, like he hasn't slept either. 3 years ago, you walked into this building with revenge in your eyes and grief in your bones. You thought you were hiding it. You weren't. Not from me. He leans against the desk. I had you investigated within a week. Found out who your father was, what happened to him, and I made a choice to stay away. Why? Because of this. He reaches up, loosens his tie, pulls down his collar. There's a scar on his neck, barely visible, white line against tan skin. My brother's assistant, the one who fed information to rivals. She did this before shooting him. His voice is flat, empty. I watched him die because he broke his rules, because he got involved with someone inside the organization, because he trusted when he should have suspected. The weight of that settles over me. I swore I'd never make the same mistake. He continues. Never get close to anyone. Never let feelings compromise judgment. Then you walked into my world, and every rule I have is crumbling. Victor. I don't remember your father's case specifically. He cuts me off. I was 26 when my brother died. Inherited this organization while trying to keep it from imploding. But I looked into it after I found your journal. Went back through the files. Your father was investigating my family. He found evidence of money laundering. And someone killed him for it. Your family killed him. My father's organization killed him. There's a difference. He walks to a cabinet, pulls out a thick file. My brother was paranoid, violent. My father was worse. I spent 5 years cleaning up their mess, trying to legitimize what they built, but that doesn't excuse what was done to Thomas Moretti, what was done to you. He hands me the file. Inside are old police reports, surveillance photos, financial records I've never seen. This is everything I could find about your father's death, Victor says. Some of it matches what you have, some doesn't, but it's yours, because you deserve to know the truth. My hands shake holding it. Why? Because you were right. Killing me wouldn't be justice, but neither is living with lies. He steps closer. Our fingers touch as he helps me hold the file. You could still destroy me, Alara. I wouldn't stop you. This evidence, combined with what you've gathered, it's enough. You could take down the organization, send me to prison, everything you've worked for. And if I do, then I deserve it. His voice drops. But I need you to know something first. I'm not my father. I'm not my brother. I've spent 5 years trying to build something different, trying to atone for what they did. It doesn't erase the past, doesn't bring your father back, but I'm trying. We're inches apart now. I can see gold flecks in his blue eyes I never noticed before, can smell his cologne, smoke and cedar and something uniquely him. You're supposed to be the enemy, I whisper. I know. I'm supposed to hate you. You should. So why don't I? His hand rises. This time it doesn't stop. Touches my face, gentle and reverent. Because you see what I've been hiding, just like I see what you've been hiding. My phone buzzes. Text from Dominic. Dinner tonight? We need to discuss something very important. The spell breaks. Victor sees my expression change, drops his hand, steps back. You should go, he says, voice carefully neutral again. Think about what you want to do, with the evidence, with everything. I leave carrying the journal and the file, mind spinning. But the question follows me all day. What if Victor's nature isn't what I thought? That evening, I meet Dominic at the same Thai restaurant, but something's different. He's different. There's an edge I hadn't noticed before. You've been spending time with Kane lately, he says after we order. Not a question, an accusation. He's my boss. I work for him, I say sarcastically. You were in his office for 45 minutes this morning. Dominic leans forward. Want to tell me what that was about? A chill runs through me. How do you know that? I pay attention. His smile doesn't reach his eyes. I know about the journal, Ilara. I know he has it. I know you didn't turn him in. That's disappointing. What are you talking about? The evidence you've been gathering. Very thorough, very useful. He takes a sip of water. But I don't want to arrest the Kanes. I want to own them. My blood turns to ice. I'm here to take control. The Kane organization is worth billions. With the right leverage, say 10 years of evidence gathered by a grieving daughter, I can force Victor to give me everything, make me a partner, or I burn it all down and rebuild with his assets. You lied to me. I positioned myself strategically. He leans back. You can either help me, or I'll make sure both you and your Mafia boyfriend go down. I have evidence of you conspiring with them now. Destruction of evidence, obstruction of justice. You're compromised. The impossible choice crystallizes. Betray Victor or lose everything. You have until tomorrow night, Dominic says. Then we move, with or without your cooperation. Think carefully. Men like Kane don't change. He'll throw you away the moment you're not useful. I walk to my car in a daze. This can't be happening. Can't be real. But Dominic made a mistake. He assumed I was still the broken 16-year-old. Didn't account for the woman who spent 10 years planning, who doesn't break easily. I'm unlocking my car when another vehicle pulls up. Black sedan, tinted windows. Victor steps out, takes one look at my face. What happened? I should lie, keep distance, protect myself. Instead, I need to talk to you, somewhere private, somewhere no one can hear us. His expression darkens. Get in. Victor takes me to a penthouse I didn't know he owned. Top floor of a building in Tribeca, city sprawling below like scattered diamonds. This is the only place I guarantee isn't bugged, he says, disabling an alarm system that looks military grade. Inside is surprisingly sparse. Modern furniture, floor-to-ceiling windows, but no personal touches. Like a hotel room, like he doesn't really live here. He turns, and I see real fear in his eyes. Tell me everything, Ilara, and don't lie to protect me. If Dominic Reeves is dirty FBI, we're both already dead. I told Victor everything. The moment the last word left my lips, he made a call that would either save us both or destroy everything. I'm standing by the windows, arms wrapped around myself, while Victor paces behind me. I just told him about Dominic's real agenda, the blackmail, the impossible choice. Every word felt like pulling glass from a wound. He said he wants to own the organization. I finish. Use my evidence to force you into partnership, or destroy you completely. Victor stops pacing. His face is carved from stone, but his eyes are burning. How much time did he give you? Tomorrow night. He pulls out his phone, dials. James, I need you at the Tribeca location, now, and bring the files on the FBI investigation. Pause. All of them. He hangs up, walks to a bar cart, pours 2 glasses of whiskey, hands me one. Drink, you'll need it. The whiskey burns going down. Good. I need to feel something other than betrayed. I have contacts in law enforcement, Victor says. Clean ones. People who want to take down corrupt agents. He takes a drink. We give Dominic what he wants. Access to my server. But what he doesn't know. I've been tracking a dirty FBI operation for 6 months. James has been building a separate case. What kind of case? Agents using their position to extort criminal organizations, taking bribes, running their own operations. He looks at me. Dominic isn't the first dirty agent to come after me. He's just the boldest. So we trap him. We use your position to trap him. You tell him you're in. You chose him over me. String him along for 3 days while my team gathers evidence of his corruption. Victor moves closer. Then we arrange a meeting, somewhere controlled. He thinks he's taking over. Instead, he walks into real FBI agents, recordings of his blackmail, everything. And if he doesn't buy it, then we adapt. James arrives 20 minutes later with 3 bankers' boxes full of files. He takes one look at me, then at Victor, and understanding crosses his face. She knows about Dominic, Victor says. Good. Saves time. James starts spreading files across the coffee table. We've been tracking Dominic Reeves for 4 months. He has Russian Mafia ties. He's not FBI. He's using a stolen badge and credentials so good they fooled our initial background checks. My stomach drops. He's Mafia. Bratva, James confirms. He's been positioning himself to take over Kane territory for his family. You were his way in. How long have you known? I ask Victor. I suspected after the second background check came back too clean. Confirmed it 3 weeks ago. His jaw tightens. But I needed proof before I could move. Couldn't risk tipping him off. You've been watching him watch me. Yes. For some reason, that should make me angry. Instead, I feel safer, like Victor's been protecting me without me knowing. Here's the plan, James says, pulling out a map. Meeting happens at this warehouse, south side, near the docks. It's owned by one of our shell companies. We'll have it wired, cameras everywhere. Real FBI positioned outside. We've been coordinating with them on the Volkov investigation. What's my role? I ask. You tell Dominic you're in, that you chose him. Give him partial access codes to Victor's server, real enough to verify, not enough to do damage. James looks at me seriously. Then you wear a wire to the meeting. Get him to confess on tape. His blackmail, his real identity, everything. How long before backup arrives? 20 minutes after the meeting starts. Long enough to get his confession. Short enough to extract you safely. 20 minutes alone with a man who's been lying to me for weeks, who used my grief as a weapon. If you're in danger, Victor starts, I can handle it. If he suspects anything, If he searches you, Victor's voice is strained. I'll break every rule. He doesn't phrase it as a possibility. It's a certainty. The way he's looking at me makes my chest tight, like I'm something precious, something worth breaking rules for. I should go, I say. If Dominic's watching me, being gone this long will raise questions. Stay. Victor's hand catches mine. Just stay tonight. It's safer. James clears his throat. I'll leave you two alone. Boss, I'll have everything ready by tomorrow. After he leaves, the penthouse feels too quiet, too intimate. You have a guest room? I ask. I have 5. Victor hasn't let go of my hand, but I don't want you to use them. Victor, I know. It's insane. You came here to destroy me. I should hate you, should never have let you get close. He steps into my space. But I don't. And that terrifies me more than Dominic, more than anything. His hand touches my face. The gesture he's been stopping himself from making for years. If anything happens to you tomorrow, he says quietly, if Dominic hurts you, I won't just break my rules. I'll burn everything down. I close the distance, kiss him. It's desperate and tender and boundary-destroying all at once. His hands grip my waist like I'm the only thing keeping him grounded. My fingers thread through his hair. We're both shaking. When we break apart, I'm breathless. This is insane, I whisper, completely. You should hate me. I should, but I don't, and that terrifies me. We don't make it to any of the 5 guest rooms. Later, tangled in his sheets with city lights painting patterns across bare skin, Victor tells me about his brother, about inheriting an empire of violence he's been trying to legitimize. I can't erase the past, he says, fingers tracing idle patterns on my shoulder. Can't bring your father back, but I'm trying to build something different, something that doesn't destroy innocent people. I tell him about my mother, about watching her fade after Dad died, about the hole they left that I thought revenge would fill. But it just made the hole bigger, I admit. I spent 10 years planning to destroy you, and now I don't know who I am if I'm not grieving, if I'm not angry. You're Alara. He tilts my face up, smart, determined, strong. You're the woman who spent 10 years building a case that could take down an entire criminal empire, who faced down the son of the man who killed her father, who chose truth over revenge. I haven't chosen yet. Yes, you have. His thumb brushes my cheek. The moment you told me about Dominic instead of using him to destroy me, that was your choice. Somewhere between confession and kissing, between planning and touching, I realize he's right. I already made my choice, not between Victor and Dominic, between the past and the future, between the girl who wanted revenge and the woman who wants to live. The next morning, Victor walks me to the door. Dawn is breaking over the city, painting everything gold. 3 days, he says. Then this is over. And after? He kisses me again, softer this time. After, we figure out who we are when we're not trying to destroy each other. I'm halfway home when my phone buzzes. Text from Dominic. Breakfast tomorrow. Discuss your decision. Don't keep me waiting, Alara. My patience has limits. Below it, a photo. Victor and me, leaving his penthouse at dawn. Caption: Interesting night. He's been having me followed. He knows. And now I have to convince him I've chosen him while wearing a wire and praying Victor's plan works. Because if it doesn't, we're both dead. How do you think this is going to play out? Tell us in the comments. And if you're enjoying so far, like and subscribe so you don't miss other amazing stories. I had to convince Dominic I'd chosen him. The hardest part wasn't the lying. It was watching Victor's face when I did it. Breakfast happens at the same diner where Dominic revealed he was FBI. The coffee tastes like ash in my mouth. He's already sitting in a booth when I arrive. Slides the photo across the table before I even sit down. Victor and me leaving the penthouse. The image is grainy but clear enough, his hand on my back, the way I'm looking at him. Want to explain? Dominic's voice is pleasant, but his eyes are cold. I practiced this with Victor last night, rehearsed every word, every gesture. He knows I'm working with you. I keep my voice steady. I had to make him trust me. By sleeping with him? By making him think he was winning. I lean forward, injecting desperation into my voice. You said you wanted leverage over him. What better leverage than making him believe I've fallen for him? Making him vulnerable? Dominic studies me. I force myself not to fidget, not to break eye contact. He has access codes to his server, I continue. The encrypted file with evidence about my father. He offered to give them to me, to help me get justice. I let bitterness creep in. He thinks I'm choosing him over revenge, that I'm letting go of 10 years of work because of feelings. Are you? No? The lie comes easily because part of it is truth. I'm using him the same way you taught me, getting close to get what I need. Isn't that what you did to me? Something flickers in his expression. Not quite guilt, but acknowledgement. You have the access codes? Partial ones. He's being careful. But I can get the rest. He trusts me now. I reach across the table, force myself to touch his hand even though my skin crawls. I know you lied about being FBI. I know you used my grief to position yourself. But you were right about one thing. Men like Victor Kane don't change. He'll throw me away the moment I'm not useful. And you won't do the same to him? He destroyed my family. He doesn't get a happy ending. Dominic watches me for another long moment. Then he squeezes my hand. You have 48 hours. Then we move, with or without Kane's complete trust. Walking out of that diner, I realize the old me, the one who planned cold revenge for 10 years, is making this performance possible. You don't spend a decade pretending without learning to lie with your whole body, but it doesn't make it hurt less. At Kane Global Holdings, I avoid Victor's office all day. The plan requires distance, requires making it look like I'm choosing Dominic, pulling away from Victor. At 6 p.m., his assistant calls. Mr. Kane wants to see you. When I enter his office, James is there too. His face is unreadable. Miss Moretti has been seen with Dominic Reeves frequently, James says, voice formal. I'm concerned about divided loyalties. This is scripted. We planned this, but the words still sting. My loyalties are my own business, I say coldly. Victor's face hardens. Not when you have access to sensitive information. We argue. I say things designed to make James believe I'm playing both sides. Things about how Victor's just another criminal. How I'm tired of being manipulated. How I'm making my own choices now. Victor says things that cut even though they're not real. You're just like the others, using proximity to power for personal gain. Maybe I learned from the best, I storm out, can feel eyes watching from other offices. Good. We need witnesses. In the bathroom, I lock myself in a stall, press my palms to my eyes. The words weren't real, but they touched my deepest fear, that I am just using him, that revenge is still my real motivation. My phone buzzes. Victor. You were perfect. I'm sorry for what I had to say. None of it was true. Below. When this is over, I'm taking you somewhere far from this city. Somewhere you can breathe. I sit on the toilet and let myself cry for exactly 2 minutes. Then I fix my makeup and go back to work. That evening, I meet Dominic in a parking garage. He's leaning against his car, checking his phone. "Access codes," he says without preamble. I hand him a piece of paper with partial codes. Victor wrote them himself. Real enough to verify against the system, not enough to actually breach it. Dominic tries them on his phone. Something pings. "There's secondary encryption," I say. "He changes it weekly. I need more time." "The meet is tomorrow night." Dominic pockets his phone. "Warehouse on South Side. Bring Kane and full access, or the deal's off. He won't come if he thinks it's a trap. Then convince him it's not." Dominic steps closer, touches my face. "You're doing well, Alara. Better than I expected. When this is over, you'll have everything you wanted. Justice for your father. Freedom from the Kanes. A fresh start." What he doesn't know: that warehouse is owned by one of Victor's shell companies. Every inch will be monitored. Real FBI agents positioned nearby. But there's a 20-minute window where I'll be alone with him. 20 minutes where anything could go wrong. That night, Victor calls from an unlisted number. "You don't have to do this," he says. "I can find another way." There is no other way. I'm in my apartment, staring at my evidence journal. Dominic won't stop unless we stop him, and this is the only way to do it without him disappearing. "You could disappear. I have resources. We could both leave. Start over somewhere he'd never find us." The offer is tempting. So tempting. "I'm not that 16-year-old girl anymore," I say. "I'm not breakable." "I know. That's what scares me." His voice is quiet. "You've been breaking yourself for 10 years. When do you get to stop?" "After tomorrow." "Promise me something." "What?" "Promise me you'll say the code word if anything feels wrong. Don't try to be brave. Don't try to get more evidence. Just say it and let us come get you." "I promise." "I mean it, Alara. You matter more than the case, more than revenge, more than any of this." After we hang up, I sit in the dark and let those words sink in. Someone thinks I matter more than revenge. When did that become true? The next morning, James fits the wire. His hands are steady and professional, but his jaw is tight. "If he searches you," James starts. I know, I improvise. "The boss cares about you." James meets my eyes. "More than he's cared about anyone since his mother died. Don't make me tell him I let something happen to you." "You won't have to." But as I'm getting dressed that evening, clothes that hide the wire, my phone rings. Unknown number. I answer. Heavy breathing. Then a voice I don't recognize. "Dominic Reeves isn't FBI. He isn't even American. He's Bratva, Russian Mafia. And if you walk into that warehouse tomorrow, you're walking into an execution. They're going to kill Kane and frame you for it." The line goes dead. My hands are shaking as I pace my apartment. The unknown caller's warning plays on repeat in my head. Execution. Frame you for it. Victor answers on the first ring. "What's wrong?" "Someone just called. Anonymous. They said Dominic's planning to kill you and frame me for it." The words tumble out. "They said he's Bratva, that the warehouse is an execution." Silence. Then, "Stay where you are. Don't move. I'm coming to you." "Victor, if Dominic's watching, I don't care." He hangs up. 20 minutes later, there's a knock. I check the peephole. Victor, wearing a baseball cap and jacket I've never seen, dressed down. Anonymous. I let him in. He pulls me against him immediately, hand cradling the back of my head. "You're okay," he says into my hair. Not a question. A reassurance to himself. "For now." He pulls back, studies my face, makes a call. James, emergency meeting, secure location, now. We end up back at the Tribeca penthouse. James arrives 10 minutes later with two other men I don't recognize. One is older, gray hair, expensive suit. The other is younger, athletic build, cold eyes. This is Detective Holt. Victor introduces the older man. He's been working the Volkov case for 3 years, and this is Agent Ryan Foster, real FBI. My head spins. You have FBI on your payroll? Not on my payroll, working with me. Victor gestures for everyone to sit. I've been helping them build a case against the Volkovs for 2 years, providing information, access, evidence. In exchange, they help me legitimize my operations. The call, Agent Foster says. Did you recognize the voice? No. Male, older. Russian accent, maybe. Could be Volkov family warning us, Detective Holt suggests. They have internal conflicts. Not everyone agrees with Dominic's methods. Or it's a trap, James counters, making us abort so Dominic knows we're on to him. Victor runs his hands through his hair. We abort. Too dangerous. No. Everyone looks at me. If we don't show, Dominic disappears and comes back worse. We have one shot. Not at the cost of your life. Then make sure your people are ready. All of them. Victor grabs my shoulders. Alara, I'm doing this. I meet his eyes. I've spent 10 years preparing for this moment. Not for revenge anymore. For justice. For my father. For your mother. For everyone the Kanes and Volkovs have hurt. I'm not backing down now. Agent Foster clears his throat. We can adjust the plan. Bring the team in earlier. Have undercover agents inside posing as Dominic's people. He'll spot them, James says. Volkovs are trained to identify law enforcement. What if we give him what he wants? I say slowly. Full access codes. Real ones. But we have a kill switch. Something that wipes the server the moment he uses them. Victor's eyes narrow. He'd know he's been played. Not if the meet happens before he can use them. We give him the codes at the warehouse. He thinks he's won. Then we spring the trap. You'd be gambling that we can take him down before he realizes the codes are worthless, Detective Holt says. Yes. What I don't tell them, I'm bringing the small revolver I've kept hidden since I was 20. Spent 10 years preparing for revenge. Tonight, I'm prepared for survival. The warehouse looms against the night sky. South side, abandoned industrial district. My headlights cut through darkness as I pull up. Dominic's vehicle is already there. So is another car I don't recognize, and a van with tinted windows. My pulse hammers. The wire feels like it's burning against my skin. I take a breath, check my phone. Text from Victor. We're in position. Say the word and we come in. I type back. See you on the other side. Then I get out of the car. The warehouse door is partially open. Light spills from inside. I can hear voices, low, speaking Russian. I walk in. Dominic stands in the center under a hanging work light. He's not alone. 3 armed men I've never seen flank him. They're not trying to hide the guns. Alara. Dominic's smile doesn't reach his eyes. Where's Kane? Coming separately. He doesn't trust joint meetings. My voice is steady, even though my heart is trying to escape my chest. Dominic laughs. Smart man. Won't save him. One of the armed men steps forward, says something in Russian. Dominic responds, then looks at me. You thought I wanted blackmail? He circles me like a predator. I want the Kanes eliminated. FBI cover was convenient, but I work for the Volkov family. We've been trying to break Kane territory for 5 years. You were my way in. Everything crashes into place. The too clean background. The immediate interest in me. The timing. I wasn't seducing him. He was hunting me from the start. You used my father's death. I used your grief, your anger, your need for revenge. He stops in front of me. You made it easy, Alara. So desperate to hurt Kane that you never questioned why someone would help you. Where's Kane? He demands. You said he was coming. I need to stall. Need to get him talking until backup arrives. 15 more minutes. He's not coming, I warned him. Dominic's face darkens. Then you're no longer useful. He nods to one of his men. The man reaches for me. Gunshot cracks through the warehouse. The man reaching for me drops, clutching his shoulder. Victor emerges from the shadows, gun steady. She's not alone. More figures appear. James, Victor's security team. For a moment, we have the advantage. Then the van doors burst open. 6 more armed men pour out. Dominic's backup. The warehouse erupts into chaos. Gunfire echoes off metal walls. I drop, scramble behind a crate. Concrete dust fills my lungs. My ears ring. I pull out my small revolver, hands surprisingly steady. Across the warehouse, I see Victor fighting hand-to-hand with one of Dominic's men. He's protecting the path to me, taking hits to stay between me and danger. Sirens, lights. Agent Foster's team storms in. But in the confusion, Dominic grabs me from behind, gun pressed to my temple. Call them off, Kane, or I paint the walls with her brain. Everything stops. Victor freezes mid-motion, blood on his lip, jacket torn. The man who never breaks rules drops his gun. Let her go. Take me instead. No! I scream. But Dominic's grip tightens. You think I'm stupid? You're worth nothing, Kane. But her, she's the one who brought me here. She's the one who trusted me. Perfect scapegoat. This is the moment I understand what Victor meant about breaking rules completely. He's not just risking the operation. He's surrendering his life for mine. The man whose family destroyed my father is willing to die to save me. I remember self-defense classes after Dad died. Remember the instructor saying, use surprise. Use their assumptions against them. I drop my weight suddenly, elbow back hard into Dominic's ribs. His grip loosens a fraction of a second. I twist. Small revolver presses under his jaw. Drop it. My voice is steel. You used my grief, my pain. Made me think you cared. That ends now. Dominic's eyes widen. You won't do it. You're not a killer, Alara. You're a broken girl playing at revenge. I think of my father, of my mother, of 10 years spent in grief. Then I think of Victor's hands, gentle and reverent, the future we could have. You're right. I'm not a killer. I step back. FBI agents swarm in, taking Dominic down. He fights, screaming in Russian. But it's over. The next hours blur. Statements, evidence collection. Dominic's arrest along with his entire team. Agent Foster pulls me aside. That wire caught everything. His confession, the threats, the assault. Plus, Detective Holt found evidence linking him to 17 murders, including 2 federal agents. He shakes my hand. You did good work, Miss Moretti. Brave work. I just wanted justice. You got it. Dominic Volkov will spend the rest of his life in prison. Victor finds me outside as dawn breaks. There's a cut above his eyebrow that needs stitches. His shirt is torn and blood-stained. You saved my life, he says. You dropped your gun for me. That was stupid. Completely. But I'd do it again. We stand there in the weak morning light, both of us battered and exhausted and alive. I found out what happened to your father, Victor says quietly. He pulls a thick file from James's car. The truth, all of it, but it's not what you expected. My hands shake as I take the file. What do you mean? Read it, then we'll talk. Inside the file are photos, emails, statements I've never seen, documents dating back 15 years, and at the top, a photograph. My father and a woman I don't recognize. They're sitting in a cafe, papers spread between them. The woman is beautiful. Dark hair, sad eyes. The caption reads, Catherine Kane and Thomas Moretti, May 2014. Victor's mother and my father. They knew each other, I whisper. They were working together, Victor says. Your father didn't discover my family's crimes by accident. My mother asked him to help her. She wanted to bring down my father, wanted to escape with me. Your father was helping her build the case. The world tilts. Everything I thought I knew is wrong. My father didn't discover the Kane's money laundering operation by accident. He was investigating them deliberately, because Victor's mother asked him to. We're back at the Tribeca penthouse. I've been reading the file for 2 hours while Victor sits across from me, silent and patient. The truth unfolds page by page. Catherine Kane wasn't just a mafia wife. She was a prisoner, married to Alessandro Kane, Victor's father, at 19 in an arranged alliance between families. Spent 17 years trying to protect her sons from their father's violence. When Victor turned 12, she started planning her escape. Needed evidence to ensure Alessandro couldn't follow, couldn't hurt them. She found Thomas Moretti through a legal aid society. He volunteered there, helped people navigate financial fraud. She came in with a fake name, asking questions about untraceable accounts. He saw through her immediately. According to his notes, client is clearly afraid. Bruises on wrists she tries to hide. Husband is powerful, dangerous. She needs help. They worked together for 6 months. Not romantic. Purely professional alliance. She provided internal knowledge of the Kane operations. He provided accounting expertise and moral support. The emails between them are careful, coded, but I can read between the lines. My father promising to help her. Catherine thanking him for giving her hope. They were close to having enough evidence when everything went wrong. My father discovered the betrayal, Victor says quietly. He's standing by the window, unable to sit still. Found out my mother was building a case against him. He had her brakes cut, made it look like an accident. You were in the car. I was 12, in the back seat. His voice is hollow. I remember the brakes not working, my mother trying to control the car, the sound when we hit the guardrail. She died on impact. I survived because I was small, in the back. He turns to face me. There are tears in his eyes. My father told me it was just an accident. These things happen. He raised me in the organization, knowing he'd murdered my mother, knowing I watched her die. The file contains a confession from Alessandro's former enforcer, the same Marcus Torelli from the surveillance footage I found. He's in witness protection now, dying of cancer, trying to clear his conscience. His statement is detailed and damning. Alessandro discovered Catherine was working with Thomas Moretti, had her killed, then went after my father. Couldn't risk him having evidence that could destroy the organization. They threw him from his office building, staged it as suicide. Even put the wrong shoes on him because they didn't know about his superstition. My father wasn't weak, I say, voice breaking. He was a hero. He was trying to save my mother, trying to save me. Victor sits beside me. I've spent 3 years watching you, knowing you were Thomas Moretti's daughter, never knowing he tried to save my life. We sit in silence, processing. 2 people shaped by the same man's cruelty, 2 survivors of Alessandro Kane's violence. Your brother knew, I say, finding that piece in the file. Nico knew what your father did. Yes, he was complicit. That's why our relationship was so strained. Victor's jaw tightens. When Nico was killed, I found letters from our father explaining everything, bragging about it. That's when I started trying to legitimize the business. Atonement. Attempted atonement. You can't atone for murder, can't bring back the dead. He looks at me. But I've been trying, shutting down illegal operations, going legitimate, working with the FBI, trying to build something my mother would be proud of instead of something that killed her. I realized something. We were never enemies. We were both victims, both children who lost parents to the same monster. For 10 years, I aimed my rage at the wrong target, I whisper. You aimed it at the organization that killed your father. That wasn't wrong. But you're not that organization. You're trying to destroy it from the inside. Victor takes my hand. I understand if you still want to turn in the evidence, destroy what's left of the Kane Empire. I won't stop you. My father's dead, but the structure he built still exists, the crimes he committed. It all deserves to fall. I look at the evidence, at 10 years of work, at the proof that could bring down everything. Then I look at Victor, at the man who dropped his gun to save me, who's been carrying guilt for his mother's death, who's trying to transform something rotten into something good. I don't want to destroy it, I say slowly. I want to transform it, with you. Finish what our parents started, make it legitimate, make their deaths mean something. You're sure? My father died trying to save your mother, trying to protect you. He'd want me to finish what he started, not with revenge, with justice. Real justice. Victor pulls me into his arms. We hold each other in the weak morning light, both of us scarred and exhausted, and finally free from the weight we've been carrying. We were supposed to destroy each other, I whisper against his chest. We did. His hand strokes my hair. We destroyed the people we were pretending to be, the ones trapped in grief and guilt. Now we get to figure out who we really are. The kiss is different this time, not desperate or forbidden. This is a promise, a beginning. I love you, Victor says. First time either of us has said it. I've loved you since you walked into my building with fire in your eyes and revenge in your heart. I love your strength, your determination, the way you never gave up even when everything told you to. I love you too. The words feel like taking off armor I've worn for 10 years. I don't know how to not be angry, don't know how to just live. We'll figure it out together. My phone buzzes. Text from Agent Foster. Final paperwork done. Dominic Volkov formally charged with 17 counts of murder, conspiracy, attempted murder, and racketeering. He's never getting out. Thought you'd want to know. I show Victor. He reads it and nods. Justice, he says. For my father, for your mother, for everyone Alessandro Kane hurt. We spend the rest of the day planning. Not revenge this time. A future. Victor will continue legitimizing the business. I'll work with Detective Holt and Agent Foster, turning over evidence that helps their ongoing investigations. We'll transform Kane Global Holdings from a criminal front into an actual legitimate corporation. It'll take years, maybe decades, but we have time now. What about your evidence journal? Victor asks. The one you kept for 10 years? I think about it. About the girl who started that journal at 16, who poured her grief and rage into those pages. I'm donating it to the FBI, I say. They can use it to close other cases, help other families get justice. It's not mine anymore. It belongs to everyone my father tried to help. Victor smiles. He'd be proud of you. I hope so. Later, in his penthouse with the city sprawled below, we make plans. Real plans for a real future. I'll finish my work at Kane Global, then transition to consulting with the FBI. Use my skills to help them take down other criminal organizations. Turn my 10 years of investigative work into something that helps people. Victor will continue cleaning up his family's empire. It'll be hard, dangerous. Some people won't want change, but he's committed. I'm going to need security, he says. Someone I trust absolutely. Someone who knows the organization inside and out. James? I was thinking you. I blink. Me? You spent 3 years learning everything about this organization. You know where all the bodies are buried, literally and figuratively. You're thorough, brilliant, and you care about doing things right. He takes my hands. I can't think of anyone better to help me rebuild. Co-CEO of Kane Global Holdings. Partner in everything. The word settles over me like a blessing. Partner. Not revenge, not destruction. Building something new from the ashes of something terrible. My father would like that, I say. So would my mother. We seal it with a kiss. 3 months later, I'm standing in front of the board of directors at Kane Global Holdings. Victor is beside me. We're presenting our restructuring plan. We're shutting down all subsidiary operations that can't be legitimized, I explain, pulling up financial projections. That's 40% of current revenue, but the remaining 60% will be sustainable, legal, and profitable. You're proposing we take a massive financial hit, one board member says. I'm proposing we build something that won't land us in prison, Victor replies. The FBI is watching. The Volkov arrests prove that criminal organizations are being systematically dismantled. We either go legitimate now, or we go down with them. The vote is close, but it passes. Afterward, James finds me in the hallway. You did good in there, he says. Thanks. The boss is different now, happier, more human. He studies me. You're good for him. He's good for me too. For what it's worth, I think your father would approve. What you're doing, transforming this place instead of destroying it, that takes more courage than revenge. After he leaves, I stand in the hallway of Kane Global Holdings, the building I entered 3 years ago planning destruction, and I feel something I haven't felt in 10 years. Peace. My phone buzzes. Text from Victor. Dinner tonight? Somewhere nice. We're celebrating. Me. What are we celebrating? Victor. Being alive, being together, being free. I smile and type back. All of the above. That night, at a restaurant overlooking the city, Victor hands me a small box. It's not what you think, he says quickly. I mean, eventually it will be. But not yet. We're still figuring things out. Inside is a key. To the penthouse, I ask. To the beach house in the Hamptons, the one my mother bought before she died. She wanted somewhere peaceful, somewhere away from all this. His eyes are soft. I want us to have that. A place that's just ours, where we can be normal people having a normal relationship. We'll never be normal. No, but we can try. I take the key. I'd like that. There's something else. He pulls out a folder. The board approved creating a foundation, the Catherine Kane and Thomas Moretti Memorial Foundation. It'll fund legal aid for people trying to escape dangerous situations, help them build cases, protect them. My eyes blur with tears. Victor, our parents tried to fight evil and died for it. This way, they save people even after death. This way, their story has a happy ending. I can't speak, can only reach across the table and hold his hand. For 10 years, I thought revenge would heal me, would fill the hole my father's death left, but it wouldn't have. It would have just made me hollow. This, love, partnership, transformation, hope, this is what heals. Thank you, I finally manage. For what? For seeing me, for breaking your rules, for being brave enough to let me in. Thank you for not destroying me when you had every reason to. We toast with expensive wine neither of us really tastes, because the best part of the meal isn't the food or the wine or the view. It's sitting across from someone who knows the worst parts of you and loves you anyway. Someone who chose you when every logical reason said not to. Someone who turned your revenge story into a love story. As we leave the restaurant, Victor pulls me close. I love you, Alara Moretti. Former ghost, current partner, future wife, if you'll have me eventually. Eventually, I agree. But yes, yes, yes to all of it. The partnership, the foundation, the future, the eventually. He kisses me under the Manhattan stars. And for the first time in 10 years, I'm not thinking about the past. I'm thinking about tomorrow.